just feel like if people keep holding you to a standard or a certain version of yourself that you no longer even associate with, then you just need to exit the group chat. Plain point, period. Like, I mean, there's just no time, and like you don't need that energy. Hi guys, I feel like I haven't posted in a while now, and I feel like, especially these type of chit chat videos, I haven't posted this in a long time, and I felt like this was the best time to come and post this. Actually, I can't say it was the best time. I struggled before I made this video. I mean, I have like this crazy like breakout that is happening right now, and just right before I was about to start recording, I realized I didn't have my microphone here, and I was like, oh my gosh, should I still make this video? And yeah, my sister gassed me up and was like, this is exactly why you should make this video. It's really about showing up as your true and authentic self. I feel like as I transitioned into my 30s, like that just became more and more a priority for me. Like I didn't want to show up as anything other than like who I am, my personality. Like I don't want to have to like, I don't know, sometimes you meet people, especially in high school, because I feel like I was having a very different childhood experience. In fact, in this house, we had we were not like, I don't know, the Vanderpumps or anything, but we had like comfort. There was also things that I was exposed to at a young age, and I'm very grateful for that like privilege and everything. And I feel like people made me feel like a type of way about those things. Like it's almost like, oh, she's pretentious, she's lying, and all those kind of things. And I would try to, I don't know, relate. Would I say relate with struggle? I will try to relate to things that I don't honestly relate to. Just this, I would try to seem like I connect with certain things that honestly they weren't in my core. I knew that I couldn't necessarily relate to that, but I just did all that just to seem more relatable. And it's okay. I feel like I've come to a level of like self-awareness and self-acceptance that I really don't mind that I'm not seeming relatable. I don't mind if people think I'm like fake or whatever it is. Like this is who I am. This is just my personality. Maybe it seems like I'm living in the Lululand. Like, hello, the Lulu is trending. Where are you at? Anyway, if you haven't been here before, this is Jenna Diaries, and I am Jenna, and I would really love you to like and subscribe and join the Diaries because we always have a good time here. And full disclaimer, there's gonna be a lot of background noise. The dogs are running around, and there are a lot of people just doing stuff and just living life, so you might hear a lot of interference, so please bear with me. Anyway, let's get into this video. So guys, today we're actually drinking this wildberry iced tea that my sister made, and it's so nice. Like I feel like this is just like the most refreshing thing I needed today to just power through this long conversation, because it's gonna be a long one, guys. So feel free to like pop me on your shelf or something, because we're gonna be in here. We're gonna be spilling all the tea, literally. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be from a range of topics, and I feel like I'm talking about what it's going to be about, and I'm not talking about it. So let's just get into it. So let's start with like relationships. Like I said, I ran into someone the other day, and they were just telling me how like, oh, I've changed so much, I'm not the same person anymore. And I don't think that's entirely true. I feel like at my core, I still have things that are very true to me. It's just certain aspects of me have changed, and I feel like change is the only natural thing. And I feel like normally I'm the kind of person that will really internalize some of those things and just think about it like, oh my gosh, have I really changed that much? Am I, but right now I don't even care. I think it's okay. I think it's fine. I feel like when it comes to relationships, I'm more kind of focused on like nurturing the people I really care about, like my family, my friends, like, just that's what life is for. I told you guys a while ago about this near-death experience I had, and I feel like one of the core things I took out of that experience was like, you need to spend time more with your loved ones. You need to like just create space for the things that matter. And at the core of it, for me, what mattered at that time was like family and like life experiences. And yeah, that's really just how I'm trying to live my life. So if you're like me and you're like trying to be more intentional about these things, you're trying to like just care more, like just send a message, send a text. Like, I like to use Sundays when I'm not home. I like to use Sundays to like check on people I care about, check on my in-laws, check on my friends, check on just people that I've been thinking about. Don't wait till like something happens and you're like, hey, what's going on? Like just a little message, a little text, just to know that you're actually thinking about people. Those little things go a long way, and I feel like that's something I've been trying to apply like presently even more so. Some people may not notice the little changes and shifts. Like I said, there are people that would just always be stuck in a certain mindset of like who you were like several years ago, whatever. And it's like, no, pay no attention to those people and just focus on like the growth that is currently happening in your life right now. I feel like if you've been sensing a certain tinge of melancholy in a lot of my videos, I think it's also because like so much has happened in the past few years. Like, guys, like in 5 years, like I've had a car crash, I've had an accident, I've had like a loss of a child, I've had the loss of a parent, like so many things. Like I'm not the same person that I was. And also the experiences that are happening around me, like, and again, it doesn't always have to be like so colossal, like, death and gore. Sometimes um it's even as like just the little shifts, like maybe your routine, like, you lost a job. Okay, I'm not saying losing a job is a small thing, but just in the grand scale of things, sometimes it may seem like quite a little thing, and yeah, I just feel like I'm just more like aware that, of how like fickle life is, and how we just need to be more present and more intentional about the time that we're giving here on this earth. So I feel like since we're on the topic of like work and like jobs and all of that, I should touch base on it a little, because like for me, I am someone that has a business and I also have a job, and I kind of balance the two. And in a lot of ways, I've also kind of changed in that aspect. Like initially, I used to feel like, okay, when you start something, you have to see to the end. And I think that's because growing up, I grew up in the era when my parents were doing more business than like work. And I feel like, they were always putting their all into it, putting their energy into it. And it's good, you're supposed to do those things, but it's also okay for you to like shift and pivot when things aren't like working exactly like the way you wanted to. For example, me, I kind of just felt like I had to do it everything on my own. And earlier this year, I hired a brand assistant, and oh my gosh, the shift that made in my business, like I wouldn't even like say like there was so much she was doing on her plate, because like I was also not even creating a lot of products at the time. But yo, the shift was crazy. By the way, in case you don't know, I have a skincare and wellness business called Cookies. We sell a lot of little fun treats there for your skin and for your mind and body and vibes. And yeah, please feel free to patronize. Like if you're in the need for a little skincare treat, Christmas is coming, you could get something for a loved one. But anywho, yeah. So I used to feel like I had to do everything on my own, but now I feel like it's important to be able to delegate and like have people help you, and have people like take things off your plate, so you can focus on other aspects of the business as well, and even give you room to think about other things you can even start as well. Like, I was surrounded by a lot of like, moving back to Nigeria, I found myself in like a group of like artists and creative and entrepreneurs, and they all felt like, you're all starting new things, and they all needed to see true to the end. And I always felt like I also had to see Cookies through to the end, and I couldn't start anything else. I don't know why I had this like limiting belief that it has to be this or nothing. And now I'm even like, I'm kind of playing with the idea of something new, and it's kind of exciting. And it's still in my head. I haven't spoken it out too much. I'm just writing it down and stringing it together. And yeah, it's just nice. Like you can also try new things, and it's okay. And you can start things and like fail, and it's okay. Cause like I started like a thrift business. For those of you that have been here for a while, yeah, I had a thrift business, and it didn't scale. I tried my best. I had like the setup, the layout. I would always do the cute little like flat lace, pair them with outfits, and it didn't really scale, and it's okay. I closed that down and I turned it into something else. So yeah, I feel like I'm in a stage where I feel like it's okay to make those little pivots if you need to, and even big pivots if you need to, because like, you just get this one life and you have to live it. I say this about like work, but I feel like this is also kind of different about like my career now. That's like the paper pushing and all of that. Anywho, so in work, in work, it's kind of different, right? I'm not really in the space of like trying new things and like, free balling all the different ideas in my head. Right now, I think I'm more focused. I feel like I tried a lot of things in my early 20s, and you should try a lot of things in your early 20s and try to find somewhere that, feels nice and cozy. But personally, I think after doing all that, I kind of found like a path that I was on, and I'm more about stability in that aspect, like, okay, now I've decided to hone in on one skill. I have so many skills, guys. I've been a copywriter. I've been an ASL teacher. I've been a graphic designer. I've been so many things. I can't even tell you guys. But right now, I'm kind of like honing in on one of those skills and really scaling with that. And it's really interesting. Like, I never really saw myself as like a tech girly. I always thought it was really cute. I loved like the cute little desk setups. I would like look at them on Pinterest a lot. But like right now, I see myself even leaning more into that. And like, I'll tell you guys more about it like as I evolve in it and grow in it. And it's exciting. It's exciting for me. And I don't think I really want to like try too many different things. And it's okay. It's okay. I say this not to mean that I'm not gonna like try something new someday. Like I still have like a deep desire in my heart to like, become like a children's book illustrator or some kind of author of some sort someday. And I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna happen and how I'll get there, but it's something I want to do, right? And that's also an aspect of I think my personality that I would say has changed. I used to be very like type A about certain things. I don't know where I picked this up. Actually, I do know. I do know. But anyway, I always like plan, and like I think I sometimes even over plan. Like I mean I could plan my whole year out. It's so crazy. And then plan like the weeks, plan the months, like everything I'm doing down to a T. And it's not like so bad. I think it's good to plan out your life. You don't want to be there's something they say, a woman ill prepared is prepared to fail. I'm not sure if that's how the saying goes. Please comment below if you know the real saying. But yeah, I feel like I used to over plan, and like right now, I feel like I try to give a little room for like God, grace, and whimsy. Like anything miraculous can happen at any point and just pivot you in a completely different direction or in the direction they're supposed to go anyway. And yeah, I'm just trying to let things kind of play out as well. I'm not being too over planning about certain things. Just let things happen. Let God let go. Honestly, and I think it's such a nice like place to be because I feel like you live a more exciting life that way, to be honest. And it's kind of nice. I feel like even my ideas of fun have been heavily influenced by this. I'm one of those people that go on holiday and I want everything mapped out, but finally I think I'm in a place where I can actually go on a holiday and it doesn't have to be all planned out. Like, it could just be spontaneous. I mean, obviously you have to have some specific things planned out, okay? Like, see, we have to have some organization in our lives. But at the same time, I don't mind things being a little bit like, loosey goosey and just see what happens. So yeah, I think when it comes to fun, I feel like I am I'm easier to please. Like I don't need like a lot of like over the top rah 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 to be like having a good time. Like I could just be sitting, chilling, like reading a book, and my friend is like just right there, or like my mister is just like in the house somewhere and I'm having a blast. And it's so funny because he's always saying like, oh my gosh, maybe we go out, we go on holiday and there's not much going on, and he's like, he's sorry about how things are. And I'm like, I'm fine. I'm having a good time. I like that you're here. I like that I'm having this mocktail or cocktail. I like that I have my book. I like that there's this view, and I'm just having a good time existing, and I just enjoying that. And I feel like if you need that, I don't know what to advise in this situation. Just be more present. Just be more present and slowly fall in love with life again. Don't get me wrong, as much as yes, everything might be more like mellow now and chill now, I still like to go out. I like a night out with my girlies, like see. Hey. And I don't know. That's another thing I feel like that has changed, like I don't even know if it's changed. It's more like self-acceptance of certain things. Like I'm one person that has always been more like I don't know how to like really like pretend like okay, oh especially like obviously going to missionary, like I went to missionary high school, and like everybody was really trying to present themselves as like the holiest person. Not everyone, but a lot of people were. And I feel like I'm one person that I like to have a good time. I like to have a good time. I At the same time, I do feel like my relationship with God is like top tier priority because like yeah, moral compass, guiding force, he's everything to me. But yeah, I think God created us to also live life and have a good time, and sometimes that means going out and shaking your booty with your friends and your girlies, and yeah, it's okay. I think it's okay. Moderation, balance, all these things are, yeah. And I think that's another thing. I feel like there's so much self-acceptance right now, like for me, like this is just so lovely for lack of a better word. Like I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm becoming, I'm just soaking it all in and just having a ball while doing it. Sometimes I'm a little mellow, like I said earlier. Like obviously the melancholies of life, like the older you get, the less rose colored your lenses are, and you just kind of see life for what it is, and sometimes even see people for what it is. And yeah, it's a little hard to balance everything with your emotions, especially if you're an empath. But I feel like with a lot of self-acceptance comes a lot of self-awareness as well, and that's going to be our next point. So So when it comes to self-awareness, I feel like a lot of people really think it's about like your likes, your dislikes, all those things, which are valid. But I also feel like for me, it's been about like understanding my non-negotiables, and also understanding my desires on a like a deep-rooted level. See, okay, energy. Let's talk about energy. Like anything that elevates my energy, I'm here for it. Anything that depletes my energy, nah. And I don't even mean just what. I mean like who, where, place, situation. Okay, I'm not here for it. Like, cause again, I just feel like it all comes back to like this feeling of how we are here only once, and how we experience this reality only one time, and how there's just not enough. Like one thing we think we have enough of is time, and really those just don't. And I just don't want to spend too much of my energy in a situation or in a place, in a space, or in a dynamic that isn't serving me, you know? So maybe I'm a little bit more selfish, which I love because I'm a very like selfless person. And I'm not saying this to feel like, oh, I'm a very selfless person and I'm so nice. No, like it has put me in a lot of, you know, it's like it's a blessing, and it's also okay. Let me not use negative words, but there are pros to that and there are cons to that as well. Okay, there are pros to that and there are cons to that as well. And I like that I kind of backtrack there, because that's something I'm also trying to be very more like a lot more aware of, is like what I put out in the world, because our words are power. You know, like God created the whole world with words. You know, words are energy. They're very powerful. So I feel like being more aware of what I'm saying about me is like a very big deal for me. Sorry guys, the camera kind of got cut off at that point. But anywho, I feel like that one is a very big one for me. I don't joke with the words, you know, like the words you speak over yourself. It's like very key. You have to be very mindful about that. I mean, I'm trying to be very mindful about it, and I hope you are also trying to be very mindful about that as well. But yeah, I'm just trying to accept like even things that have happened that have brought me to where I am, you know, my little kinks and quirks and all of that good stuff. You know, I might be a little delusional, okay? I might have a little melancholy to me, but you know, I believe in God, I trust God, and I feel like I'm going to have a happy, healthy, whole life in Jesus' name. Like, just putting that out there, because see, there's already so much drama in the world, right? There's stuff going on in the world, and you can choose to just kind of focus on that and be in this like, oh no, like gloom and doom, or you can just try to speak positively about your situation and focus on things that are actually going right in your situation and going right in your world and in your reality and in your existence. Anyway, I've turned this into a little sermon. I can talk about this for days. But let's go on to the next point. So the next thing that has really changed about me, and I know the fact that I'm talking about this because it may not seem important to people, but for me, it's so important because style is a way I express myself, is my style. I feel like my style has really changed. My early 20s, I feel like I was more even, you know, I was more adventurous, and I would even say scandalous with like some of the things I used to wear, you know, a little rebellious, you know, coming from, again, a missionary school where always wearing uniforms. See, nah, like entering into like my and also going to med school, you know, you also had to kind of present yourself in a certain way, like, you know, for people to take you seriously. But yeah, I feel like I was definitely very adventurous, scandalous from like my late teens to early 20s. And then my mid 20s, I think I was more like chic, and even maybe I would even say a minimalist. I was really more about like, you know, keeping it very streamlined. And I think that was also because of like my stay in Europe really influenced my style, because I feel like European style is very like minimalistic, very chic, very like slick and all of that. And then eventually I went through a phase where I gave out a bunch of stuff. Like, see, this past 1 2 years, I've just been giving out things. I feel like all my clothes can fit into like 2 suitcases. And I love it. I love that that's where I'm at, because like now I can really build, and I'm still going to still declutter some things, because I feel like now I want to buy things that are like feminine, powerful, and comfy. Or in general, I just want to buy things that make me feel feminine, comfortable, and powerful. I know these may seem like three, but yeah, there's a way I would dress that would make me feel a type of way. And Point in case, I'm wearing PJs, okay? Which is actually kind of what I was going for. I'll tell you guys more. Me wearing PJs is like very intentional because I feel like every time I want to show up, I start overthinking so many things like, oh my gosh, maybe I should wear like, it's not aesthetic enough. Like I should, do my face up a little, and I want to show up more. And what am I like? What do I feel like cute and confident in? PJs. And I have so many, and if you're interested in where I get my PJs, please let me know, and I will probably leave like comments in the next video, something like that. But anywho, I feel like I want to start, or this is the prelude of a series I'm about to start, and I need help actually picking out a name because my first choice was like comfy co, or comfy conversations or something of that nature, and the second choice is bedside banter because I want us to be able to talk about anything, right? Like from relationships to like hot takes to like things that are happening in social media right now, or just any topic, or even things that just cross my mind right before I go to bed, right? I want us to be able to talk about those things because I feel like there's so much that we can all learn from each other and just start a community here, and I'm here for it. So just let me know which name really resonates more, comfy convos or bedside banter, and let me know which one you would like to see here on Jenna Diaries. Whew. Guys, please, if you made it this far, please leave a T-Mug emoji in the comments. You know those little T-Mug emojis? Please leave it in the comments because you are an OG. But we're about to wrap up. Okay, so the last two things I want to talk about. One, social media. So I feel like my social media, my views, and my relationship with it has really changed. Initially, when it came out, I used to post all the things like Facebook. I used to get a lot of comments and likes and engagement on Facebook because I would always post like the funniest things and like hot takes, and yeah, I feel like I was doing really well there, but I wasn't really doing it for like, I don't know, to go like viral, because I don't even know, I don't think that was even a term then, but it was just, a way to self-express. And then I moved into Instagram, and I started sharing my cute little outfits and like just cute little aesthetic-y things and things like that. And I feel like now I post a lot less. So yeah, I feel like my relationship with social media, especially like the short form, is more for marketing and like just sharing my business, work, all those kind of things. And this is where I feel like I can be really authentic because I love long form content. I love YouTube. Oh my gosh, like it's just so great, like seeing like real, especially vlogs, like just seeing real people live their lives, do their things, and talk about their experiences and share their experiences. I really love that, and I love that aspect of social media. But you see the thing with like the engagement, the likes, the views, and all of that, especially on short form platforms like TikTok and Insta. I don't even I'm constantly deleting TikTok because every time my phone is full, it's like usually one of the first apps to go. But yeah, I don't really care that much, to be honest. I feel obviously I care on my business page in the sense of like I want to know that how people feel about my products, like their experience with it, like should I improve something, like the customer service, whatever it is, right? I want to be aware in that aspect. But like if it's for the sake of like, I don't know, I just don't want to care as much on those platforms. I just don't know why. I can't really explain it. Like personally, I wouldn't mind having like a tab, like which I do, and then post like YouTube videos and then have a flip phone. In fact, I'm probably going to get a flip phone in 2026, guys. Like, yeah, it's happening, and I'll get like maybe a little digital camera. Like, we're going Y2K in 2026. It's good. And I want to advise, if you're kind of someone that struggles, like, binge scrolling and all of that and consuming so much information, because it affects you, even on a subconscious level. If you think it's not, it really is. I think consider taking a social media detox. I'm going to have a whole conversation about that because I do that from time to time, and it's been really amazing. I think it really helps me like reset, and I'm going to share more about that in these little chit chats. So I hope to see you guys more. But yeah, I feel like my relationship with social media has really evolved and it's in a very zen place. So yeah. All right, guys. So the last and final way that I feel like I want to talk about that I've changed is in my spirituality. So I grew up Anglican, right? And I went to missionary school. And I feel like I really valued the time that I spent in like missionary school because, I love the hymns. It kind of wasn't too different from Anglican because I feel like growing up Anglican, it's very peaceful, very calm, and like, all the hymns. I loved all of that. But at the same time, I feel like people, even though well meaning, they come up very like judgy and performative and all of that. It's like if you're not living your life a certain way, like, oh my God, you're gonna be set into flames and all of that. And I don't know. I just don't really subscribe to that understanding of who God is because I don't think it's about like what you do. Like, I believe that I'm saved by grace through Christ, not by the things that I do or not do or, how holy I am. Like, I don't think there's anything that we can do that would make us like so holy. It's God that gives us that holiness. That's one. Secondly, I also feel like, I feel like it's important to have like a deep desire to know and experience and have a relationship with God. And almost everything I do when it comes to spirituality is more about growing that relationship with God. Maybe that's why sometimes I do struggle with like churches that they're constantly like shouting, screaming, all of those things. And I'm not judgmental about it because there's a place for that, right? And time for that. There are even times that I'm like so filled with the spirit and I'm like in that like, but I don't think like that is the only way. I don't think one way when it comes to spirituality and your relationship is the only way in the sense of what, don't get me wrong, Jesus is the way, truth, and life, right? Don't get me wrong. What I'm just trying to say is the methods, right? God created us differently. We all have different personalities, and I think He connects with us on those personalities. Me, this is my point of view. This is my hot take. I don't know, like, you can have your point of view or whatever, but this is how I see it. But I mean, I would like to hear what you guys think in the comments as well. But I'll tell you what I think is important. I think praying is important. I believe reading your Bible is important. I believe meditating in the Word is important. I believe being part and plugged into a church community is important because I think it's important to serve, right? I think it's important to serve in the place of the Lord. And I know there's some people that are like, oh, the church is a business. That could be a whole different conversation. That's not what we're here today. But I also feel like being generous is important. At least for me, it's all going together. Like being generous is important, giving is important, giving back to community, to your church, all the things are important. And top of the list is growing your relationship, your personal relationship with God. That is top priority. So anywho, thank you guys for making it to the end of this video. Again, if you're here, leave 2 teacups in the comments. And yeah, like I said, please, I would really love to know your thoughts on what would be a nice name for this little series or segment that we want to start here. It's going to be really cozy conversations. Sometimes I might bring a guest, I think, just to, hear other people's point of views and things. And I'm sorry again about like the whole mic situation. I do hope you guys can hear me. And yeah, I hope everyone is having a wonderful festive season. Christmas is around the corner. And yeah, I just want to wish everyone an amazing Christmas and New Year as we kind of go into things, and I hope you're spending time with loved ones and your families. And yeah, I wish you guys all the best, and I love you guys and see you guys in the next episode. Bye.